Hello guys, welcome to the very first Chelsea news bulletin live on the channel. Rather than a recorded video, this is a live bulletin. Welcome along to those of you that are coming to join and to say hello. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. There is some stories to feature. There's a couple of talking points maybe, and then there's a preview. There's Everton versus Chelsea tomorrow. Welcome along. Come and join. I need to turn my... In fact, I can leave it on. I'll leave the sound on so I can hear me talking. Anyway, let's start up with the very first story of the day, and that's Thiago Silva. As you can see here, guys, Thiago Silva offers services to Brazilian side Fluminense as recent texts emerge. Now, the story relates to Thiago Silva's ex-teammate, Marcel, who's now the manager at Fluminense. And he's revealed that he's been talking to Thiago Silva. He's been having text chats with Thiago Silva. And while he had a bit of a text conflab, he was a little bit cheeky and said to Thiago Silva about the possibility of coming over. To which Thiago Silva replied back to say, I will come there and assist you. To which the Marcel, the manager of Fluminense, has said, no, I don't want you to assist me. I want you to come and play. And it looks as though Thiago Silva has got that as a possible option. Now, he's been quoted in the Brazilian media as saying that he come to Chelsea in the Premier League to test himself at a high level with the eyes on the World Cup coming up next season, in the next season. But what he's also wanting to do is he wants to finish his career where he enjoyed his football, and that's back in Brazil. So it's the talks of Thiago Silva and the situation with going back to Fluminense a little bit premature. There's reports that Chelsea have already started talks with Thiago Silva, negotiating a brand new contract or an extension to the contract that he's currently got. And we all know the situation with Thiago Silva and the impact that he's made at Chelsea this season. If any of you have watched the Monday Night Football on Sky Sports, you would have seen Jamie Carragher doing a feature on set pieces, for example, and Chelsea's improvement on defending set pieces and attacking set pieces has literally gone from here up to here. Thiago Silva's had a massive impact on Chelsea, a huge impact on the way we defend as a unit, when we go forward, when we press, when we sit narrow. He's a talker. We all know he can't speak proper English yet, but he can still communicate with the players, French, Spanish, Italian. He can do it all. So Thiago Silva's made a massive, massive impact at Chelsea, and it's just, I just see it as a little bit of an unsettling sort of thing in the media at the moment. And obviously, Marcel, his ex-teammate, who's the manager over at Fluminense, he's not helping the situation with revealing that they're in constant contact and Thiago Silva wants to go back there. Let's hope that Thiago Silva will go back there in a couple of seasons' time. AC Studio, how you doing? And Bev. I'll get to Pulisic in just a minute, AC. But next up in the news bulletin today is David Alaba. And there's been reports once again that Chelsea are interested in Alaba. Now, let's just get my notes on Alaba. So, Alaba's contract expires in June. And there reportedly is 4 clubs that are looking to try and sign him. Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, and Chelsea. Now, if you guys had seen my news bulletin yesterday, there was reports. Hi, Daniel. There was reports that to try and get a deal done for Alaba, there's not only the wages, there's also an agent fee, there's a sign-on fee, and it's Morrow, how are you? And it's big money, big money. But this report, as featured in one of the English newspapers, basically states that Alaba could be looking at wages. Bearing in mind he's a free transfer. £350,000 a week, plus a sign-on fee, plus a high agent fee. That's a lot of money. But Alaba, as we know, is world class. Can play left back. Alaba can play centre back, and he's world class. Is David Alaba someone we should be looking at? Now, I've mentioned it before. The situation is that we're overloaded with left backs and centre backs at the moment, and we have to look at what Chelsea are going to do in the winter, in the summer even. Maybe this winter, if the likes of Tom Roy's going to go out on loan, if Tony Ruger is sold, Will Chelsea bring another option in? Because it will only leave us with 3 centre-backs. And the left-back position, Emerson, who seems to be back in favour as the backup to Ben Chilwell. And there's Marcos Alonso, who looks like he's probably going to be on his way. David Alaba can play both positions. He's world-class, as I say. He's been at Bayern for well over 10 years now. Is Alaba someone that Chelsea have got a real concrete interest in Alaba? Is he someone that you guys, the Chelsea fans, think that he can come in and do a fantastic job? £350,000 a week, a lot of money. I know he's a free transfer, hell of a lot of money, and I guess it sort of evens itself out because you would be looking at paying big money for him if you get to sign him. So what do you guys think of David Alaba? Do you think that he's someone that we should go after? Let me know in the chat. Let me know about anything discussed, including Thiago Silva, in the chat. Not sure how long this video is going to be. Probably about 20 minutes or so, maybe 25. It's just to see if you guys like the idea of the live news update. So let me know in the chat section. Moro, Daniel, AC, Bev, welcome along. Anybody else that's joining, come and get involved in the chat. Welcome to the channel and to the stream. Yeah, Alaba is good for Chelsea. I think he's good for Chelsea and his experience would be great. It depends on where Chelsea and Frank Lampard would see David Alaba. Would they see him as a centre-half or a left-back? You think the investment in Ben Chilwell, you have to say he'd probably be a centre-half. And he's impressed and improved. And, you know, if we're going to lose Rudiger and Tomori on loan, let's just say by the end of the season, if the situation doesn't change, we all expect Tomori to go out on loan to Newcastle possibly in January. Will Chelsea let Rudiger go? Not sure. I'm not sure if they let him go in January without a replacement, especially if Tomori goes, or will they hold on to him to the end of the season and then sell him? And if they do sell him, that's when you'll probably look at Alaba. Dennis Hay, how are you doing? Thank you very much for joining and getting involved. So so far, that's Thiago Silva. Don't forget, let me know what you think about Thiago Silva and the links with him going back to Fluminense in Brazil and the chat from Marcel, the ex-teammate who's now the manager there, who's been talking about the fact that he wants Thiago Silva, and Thiago Silva seems to want to go back to Brazil at some point. Kayo, what if Lampard doesn't get top 4 and will be sacked? Will we still go after Alaba? I think they'll probably look to still improve the squad. That's just the way it works, no matter who's in charge. What I will say over time, and I think it's pretty much like Mourinho, Lampard. There's certain managers that have taken over that sort of are pretty much told to work with what they've got. And there's been club signings in the past. I'm not going to say who they were, but there were certain signings made by the club, not necessarily by the managers. Is David Alaba one of those players? I guess we have to wait and see. But what isn't a surprise is the fact that if his contract's going to expire at the end of the season and he's rejected Bayern Munich's offer and they've literally got to a point where they resigned to defeat and they've taken the offer off the table, David Alaba and his agent are in prime position. And of course, his agent is going to put the feelers out to try and get interest, to try and gain momentum in his man. And we have to wait and see what's going to happen if Chelsea are, in fact, interested. And the reported interest is concrete, I should say. Let's wait and see what's going to happen. But I think January is going to be interesting with possible moves out. But I guess we'll get to that point. Let's just focus on the games one after another for the time being. Everton Preview coming up at the end of this particular video. Daniel, yeah, do not fix anything. It's not broken. The squad is strong enough at present. Concentrate on Everton. I agree completely, 100%. So let's move forward to the next story that I wanted to feature today, and that was Kai Havertz. So Kai Havertz has explained what his preferred position is after a mixed start by Chelsea, as reported in Football London. And as we all know, Kai Havertz has been played in numerous different positions for Chelsea. He's been played as a number 8. He's been played as a number 10 in a 4-2-3-1. He's been played in different wide areas. And he's been talking, and he mentioned the fact that for Leverkusen, he sort of played everywhere, every position through the midfield and going forward. And he sees himself as an offensive type of a player. But at the moment, he's happy to play anywhere he's needed, because obviously he wants to get settled into the Premier League and enjoy football and get used to playing for Chelsea. Out of all the new signings, I think you have to say that Kai Havertz has probably been the one that's been, I wouldn't say struggled. I'd actually say that the headline of mixed start is probably right. There's games where he's out of position, he can't get involved, or, you know, there's games where he's sort of taken a bit of a step back and where other people have taken, like, the plaudits. For example, Burnley away, Havertz playing next to Mason Mount in the 4-3-3 was brilliant. But it was the likes of Timo Werner, it was the likes of Hakim Ziyech getting the headlines, and rightly so. Havertz, I think he's got a job on. Between us chatting away here, guys, when it comes to a 4-3-3, I think the main two at the moment supporting N'Golo Kante look like being Mason Mount and Mateo Kovacic. The likes of Jorginho and Kai Havertz wouldn't start at the moment in the 4-3-3 when everybody's fit. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Kai Havertz is a starter? Do you think he just needs the time? Steve, that's a very good point. Clint, I think we should sign Thiago for another year, definitely. But yes, Steve, we'll see the best of Kai next season. Frank Lampard's spoken recently and he said the same thing. He turned around and said that, you know, it takes some time for players to come into the Premier League, to adjust to the pace of it. Kai himself has been talking about how surprised he's been by the level of quality and the physicality of the games in every single game, which is something he's not used to. So let's give the guy some time. I think he'll start tomorrow, but more on that at the end of the video. So that's Kai Havertz. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you think of his best position is in the Chelsea team? Do you think he's a box-to-box midfielder or more of a number 10? Is he more of a number 10, for example, in a 4-2-3-1 than Mason Mount? Is Mason Mount far better playing deeper, getting more involved in games where he can see things happening in front of him and can play the passes and, you know, on graft and work? Is he more of a number 8, Mason Mount, and Havertz more of a number 10? Something to think about. So let's move on. So that's Kai Havertz. So let me know, guys. Drop a like on the video for me, and then also let me know in the chat what you're thinking about Silva, about David Alaba, and about Kai Havertz. So the next story that's featured in the video today is Christian Pulisic and Frank Lampard. Pulisic, I should say. Frank Lampard's been talking of Christian Pulisic and has said that he remains a work in progress. And that's all to do with the hamstring problems that he's had. Lampard actually said that he's having to find the right way to get the best out of him, and that's with consistency and regularity out of him. And it's a bit of a worry. And we all heard from Frank Lampard in his press conference yesterday, where he actually admitted that Pulisic felt a bit of a pull in his hamstring after the Leeds game, or during the Leeds game when he come off, and that's a slight concern. Bearing in mind, Hakim Ziyech is out for a couple of weeks, and so is Callum Hudson-Odoi. If we lose Christian Pulisic as well, then it's not good. It's not it limits our options and the way we're going to be playing. And you'll be looking at Havertz playing probably wide right, wide left. Werner stuck out there where he wants to be playing through the middle. So it's just managing Pulisic. I think with Pulisic, we need to make sure that we sort of, you know, we ease him in. Will he start tomorrow against Everton, or will Frank decide with the extensive schedule we've got coming up to sort of just take it easy with him? Play him in certain games from the start, then bring him off. Start him as a sub in some and bring him in until he feels strong, until he feels he's got no problems at all with his hamstring. If we play him tomorrow from the start and it goes again, it's a disaster, an absolute disaster, because we all know what Christian Pulisic can do and what he gives the team. And, you know, he's just fantastic. And for me, when everyone's fit, everyone's firing, he's in the first 11 without any question whatsoever, with Hakim Ziyech on the right-hand side. And for me, Timo Werner up front through the middle. So we just need Christian Pulisic ready, fit, firing, playing regularly, playing consistently, as Frank Lampard has said. And it's good to hear that Frank's going to just try to manage how he's going to do that. Robert, deep down as a true blue, do you think that this is our year? I wouldn't take anything at the moment. I'll just game by game. I've said it before on the channel The problem that you've got is the amount of fixtures, the amount of injuries that are happening. You know, you're going to get suspensions as well. Don't forget, with people who's picking up these bookings. It's just something you just have to take your time with and just play it game by game. Get through the busy Christmas and New Year period. See where we're at after that period and how good we're looking, if we've got any major problems or not. And then we just go from there. But I wouldn't talk about the title just yet. The main focus for us this season is to close the gap to Man City and Liverpool. I think that's still the aim. See where we are at the end of February, March time, and then we can reevaluate the situation. If we get through that particular moment in time and we're at the end of February, March, and we've got everybody fit and playing well, then you just have to be positive and just look and maybe think that maybe we might just be in it here. But as I say, there's far too much that could go wrong. Injuries, suspensions. I just think the way it's going this season with all the teams and the problems they're having with injuries, we have to wait and see what happens. We really, really do. But Christian Pulisic is someone that we need fit and firing, regular, as soon as possible. We just have to manage him, getting to that point. Daniel Pulisic needs to be managed very carefully. He does. Kyle Hazel, Werner's been very good up front when he played up front to Southampton. Wasted isn't the same on the wing. What should we do and what will Lamps do? Kyle, I think the problem that you've got is at the moment you've only got the one winger, natural winger, and that's Pulisic. And he's got a bit of a hamstring twinge the other day. So Timo Werner's been asked to do a job along with Kai Havertz at times out wide and Mason Mount. It's just trying to get an end to a means, basically. And it's just Werner is going to be, for me, the main striker through the middle. I know Olivier Giroud is playing great. Tammy's been scoring as well. Werner's the main man through the middle with Pulisic and Ziyech. It's just at the moment Werner is having to do a job out wide, and that's something that he just has to do. And what I will say, I said it in my video the other day about Timo Werner, is what he said. What I like about Werner, he's not scored for 5 games or so. What I like about him is that his head doesn't drop. He gets disappointed with himself. He tells himself off, as he did when he played that ball was played through to him by Mason Mount the other day, and he had a shot and the goalkeeper saved it with his feet, point blank. But he doesn't let his head drop, and he keeps going, and he keeps getting into positions, he keeps making runs. And then look what he did for Pulisic's goal with the assist. He drove forward to the edge of the box, and you're thinking he's going to go towards goal. He saw Pulisic was in a better position, played a great ball into him. So he's still running and he's still making those runs, and his head doesn't drop, which is great because, you know, these strikers are sort of judged and based on their goals, and when they don't score, the pressure builds, and pressure from the outside builds. And you know, there's articles, there's people talking about the fact that they're not scoring, they're struggling, and I guess it does get you because people say they don't read social media, they don't read newspaper articles. So of course they do. But this guy keeps his head going, keeps his head forward, and Werner's doing great. Dennis Pulisic, yeah, Lewis can play Chilwell and Emerson on the left, and yeah, you can play Chilwell and Emerson on the left. That's I think an option that Frank is definitely sort of considering. But there's been talk of the Chilwell and Werner combination down that left hand side at the minute, which seems to be quite good, and the two of them have got a bit of an understanding. And it looks as though Timo's quite happy to do a job out wide left. I think he'll be out there again tomorrow. More on that later. But I think that for now, Timo's doing a job. If we play him in the right ball, he's still making the runs in behind. He goes from that left-hand side and he goes in behind. Sometimes we're just a bit too slow with playing the ball into him. It's like a comment that was made by Kyle Hazel earlier. Southampton goals, the first one. He was literally on the shoulder of the defender, played the ball up to him. He dummies it, spins, and he's gone. You're not going to catch him. So he can still come off the line and make those runs. He can still have a big influence, as we've seen. But I wonder if it'll be Pulisic playing from the start tomorrow on the left, or if it'll be Timo Werner. I think it'd probably be Werner, and I'd go Pulisic from the bench. So let's get into the Everton game then. And it's an interesting game. Now let's just bring the table up first and foremost. The Premier League table looks like this. Before there's the game this evening. Now Wolves, is it Wolves Leeds tonight, or Leeds are playing Wolves tonight? But Tottenham are top of the league, which is just ridiculous. They're top of the league with Liverpool on 24 points. We're third on 22. Leicester fourth on 21. Now Everton find themselves in ninth. They've only won 1 of the last 5 games. They've lost 3 of them. Chelsea have won 4 out of the last 5, drawn 1. We're on a fantastic unbeaten run, 16 games in all competitions, and the last defeat was Liverpool. That's how long ago it's been. So the fixture-wise, as I said, tonight it's Leeds West Ham, I should say. Leeds and West Ham are playing tonight. The lunchtime game is Wolves Villa, 12:30. And then 3 o'clock is Newcastle West Brom. Man United Man City, which should be interesting. Could be the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tomorrow. And then we play at 8 o'clock. Now, just a note, if you haven't seen it already, I am confirmed live commentary tomorrow. 10 to 8, 1950 UK time, here on the channel. Everton v Chelsea, live alternative commentary. I've done it a few times on the channel. It's been popular. You guys have been great supporting it. Come back tomorrow for the commentary and I'll talk you through it. And then on Sunday, Southampton, Sheffield United, followed by Crystal Palace, Tottenham, and then Fulham, Liverpool. Then it's Leicester, Brighton, and then also Arsenal, Burnley. So the Everton game, let's just look at the situation. And I have to say that it's interesting bearing in mind the team news that's come out this afternoon from Everton. They've got 3 players out, and those 3 players are Seamus Coleman, Fabian Delph, and the big one, James Rodriguez. James Rodriguez is out with a thigh strain. He's out. It's a thigh strain or a calf strain. He's not playing tomorrow, which is a big blow to Everton considering their form. 1 win in 5 games and 3 defeats. Chelsea go into the game confident. And Carlo Ancelotti's been talking about Frank Lampard and basically said he's doing really, really well. He's got a fantastic squad, Chelsea, and a fantastic team. And Lampard wasn't really asked about Everton and the way they've been playing. He was asked more of Carlo Ancelotti and obviously gave him great praise, a great coach and a great man. It's going to be a really interesting game tomorrow when we go there, how they're going to line up. Obviously, we need to be aware of the threat they've got up front from Calvert-Lewin. And of course, the other players that they've got up there, Carlson, they're going to be organised. They're going to be hard-working. We need to match them. We need to make sure that we're at our best. We're going to be 4-3-3 again. I'm sure we are. I'm positive we're going to be 4-3-3. And I can see Chelsea playing well and hopefully getting a win. Now, as far as the first team goes, the actual starting 11, I've put my starting 11 together, and this is what I think the team will be. The team will be Edouard Mendy in goal, Ben Chilwell left back, Thiago Silva, Kurt Zouma, Reece James right back, N'Golo Kanté, Mateo Kovacic, and Mason Mount in the middle. Excuse me. Timo Werner left, Kai Havertz on the right, Olivier Giroud up front. That's my 11. The only one that I can see possibly changing is Havertz for Pulisic. It's one of those 2 starting, and I would go for Havertz tomorrow to save Pulisic and give him maybe a half an hour. Because he's had his twinge, just ease him in. Don't throw him straight in from the start in case it flares up. Just give Pulisic time just to go easy. So that's my team for tomorrow. What do you think of the starting 11 I've put on here? You guys make any changes? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments section. But I think that starting 11 will do a good job. Olivier Giroud was rested in the week and Tammy played. We saw a difference with Tammy. I said it in my video yesterday, the tier list, the Chelsea strikers, that at the start of the season, you're looking at Timo Werner as first choice, Tammy second choice, Giroud third choice. If anything, Giroud's now second choice and Tammy's third. For me, based on influence, based on what they offer the team at the moment and the way they've been playing. Tammy's still been playing good, but he really struggled the other night when Krasnodar sat deep and shut the door with the two midfielders in front of him, and he had no space and he really struggled with it. So Giroud will give you something different, and I think Giroud, bearing in mind that we've got Hakim Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi out, I think that Giroud gets to start again tomorrow, and I think Werner will be on the left, Havertz will be on the right. That's what I think, guys. What do you think of the Chelsea team? What do you think of our chances tomorrow? Steve thinks Chelsea are going to win 2-0 and keep a clean sheet. Seeker Reaper, Werner needs to start all of our games despite he doesn't score. His influence is major to our success. It is. Lewis, yeah, it's all about Chilwell and Emerson. So that's the news update from me. As I say, let me know in the comments section below what you're thinking about the situation with Thiago Silva being linked with going back to Fluminense. Let me know what you think about David Alaba and his extortionate wage demands, £350,000 a week to sign for Chelsea on a free transfer. Let me know what you think about Kai Havertz and where you think his best position is going to be. And also let me know what you think about Christian Pulisic and what would you do? Would you start him or would you not? Seeker's going to go for a big 4-0 victory tomorrow. Hopefully. You never know. You never know. But I think that we'll win it by 2. It depends on how Everton line up. If Everton sort of line up and if they sort of play a 4-4-1-1 with Richarlison playing in behind Calvert-Lewin, then they're going to sit back and sit deep and really make us work. And when they do that, it's important that Chelsea move the ball quickly and incisively forward. You know, we've seen the last few games where Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma probably have the more touches of anybody. I think I saw a stat during the course of this week, beginning of the week, saying the most sort of touches and passes in the Premier League. Kurt Zouma was up there in the top 5, believe it or not. So the good thing is that whereas last season we were passing the ball sideways and backwards and at times we sort of struggled to break teams down, so we just kept doing that. We're actually looking to play it forward at every opportunity first. And when the ball isn't there, we then move it sideways. And the first time the recipient gets the ball is his first action to look forward again. So Chelsea are playing better than they were last year. It's a much better feeling this year than last year. And just think, this 16-game unbeaten run that we're on, guys, last year there were certain games we would have drawn, lost or just dropped the points. So plenty of things to be positive about heading into this weekend and tomorrow's game. I'm going to get my hair cut. It looks an absolute mess at the moment. It's a complete state. So apologies for that. So thank you, guys. That's been the Chelsea news update today, live. First time I've ever done a live video. I'm thinking of doing it most days. So if you guys want to tune in every day at 6:30 for this sort of a video, let me know what you think in the comment section, in the chat as well. Brian, I agree with your session lineup. Pulisic be on the bench. Yep, I definitely agree with you as well. Nice to see you agree with me on the same wavelength. Ashu believes that Chelsea 3, Everton 0 tomorrow, which is that's a positive. With Timo to score 2, hopefully. Yep, definitely. I think Chelsea will. I think, as I say, we'll win by 2. Nice to win by 3 or more, though, wouldn't it? Let's just see what happens. So, guys, that's it from me. Chelsea news, first ever one on the channel live. Thank you so much for joining. Spread the word for me. Spread the word around everybody else that you know that follow. And hopefully they can come and join and get involved. Join me tomorrow 19:50, tomorrow 10 to 8 for live alternative match commentary. I'll talk you through the whole game. I'll commentate on it. I can't show you match footage, but I will commentate on the whole game. So come and join in the fun, get involved in the chat, and have your beers at the ready. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great evening. Enjoy your Friday night. Enjoy the games leading up to tomorrow. As I say, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's up for some pressure tomorrow. If he loses, I think he could end up losing his job. But hopefully we see that happening and we come to our game. So that's it from me, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time. Let me know what you think about the video, the idea of the live videos, and everything discussed in it in the comments section. Have a fantastic Friday. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.